How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to our latest severe weather update slash studio tour. We're kind of doing two things in today's live stream. I hope everybody's been having a good weekend so far. Happy Mother's Day, obviously. Today is going to be, a chill stream. We're only going to be live for probably about 45 minutes to an hour. It shouldn't be a super long stream, but I did want to kind of go over what's going to be ahead tomorrow in terms of severe weather, in addition to a quick studio tour for those that aren't members or aren't on our Twitter page or even our Facebook page. We officially have everything set up in our studio now, like literally everything, at least for now. We still have some lights that are coming in. We still have another monitor set that'll be coming in too, so there's still some things that are missing, but I do want to kind of go over some of the upgrades here in the Max Velocity Weather Studios, if you will, and we'll also be going over what to expect tomorrow in terms of severe weather. So we'll begin first with what's coming up tomorrow. We'll kind of answer some questions, and I'll do a full-blown studio tour here in a few minutes with our new perspective behind us as well. We have a camera behind me, so again, really exciting stuff, so I'll be showing that here in a few minutes. But I do want to first go over what is expected tomorrow in terms of severe weather. We probably will be live tomorrow because of the scale of this event with how large it is. So I do want to quickly go over what to expect, what kind of threats you can expect, will there be tornadoes, all that sort of stuff. But right now there is a slight risk for severe weather for tomorrow, which is going to be Monday. That includes anywhere from southwest Georgia back into parts of Texas. Now it's a pretty large area for that slight risk. I wouldn't be surprised if we had some sort of small enhanced risk somewhere in here, either for hail or for the wind threat. There will also be a chance even for a few tornadoes. So there's going to be a few things that we are going to be watching for tomorrow. Large marginal threat as well that goes from Missouri back into South Carolina. So be mindful of that if you are in those areas. The hail threat is really the greatest concern with the initial supercell development that we see tomorrow. So notice that area, all in the yellow shaded area. That is all going to be what we're looking at in terms of the hail threat. The majority of these significant hailstorms will be in this area. So if you are anywhere from Jackson, Mississippi, back into Texas, this is where we're watching for the greatest risk for severe weather. And that includes the threat for very significant hail. We could see hailstones as high as the size of baseballs. We did have a storm earlier today near Houston that was actually producing that sized hailstone. It was, I think, right along the border here of Louisiana and as well as Texas, where we did have some hailstones that were upwards of the size of baseballs. So that's going to be another concern for tomorrow out of any robust supercells that develop. The wind threat is a little bit more different. It's going to be down a narrow corridor where we're going to have a couple of different MCSs develop, which are mesoscale convective systems. So one of which will be ongoing overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. That'll move into areas like Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. The second one's going to develop tomorrow afternoon and evening, and that's going to move across Louisiana, Mississippi, and eventually going through Alabama. So it's going to, again, be quite a large area for tomorrow with basically two different rounds for thunderstorms, and that one could produce damaging winds as high as 70 to 85 miles per hour in some instances. So make sure you're protecting trampolines, make sure you're protecting any loose lawn items as well outside, as there will be some significant damaging winds. The tornado risk is going to be slightly more elevated than what we've been dealing with the last few days. We do have a large 5% tornado risk, which goes from Texas back into the Florida Panhandle and as well as back into Georgia. And this is the area where I'll be watching more for the potential for a few tornadoes. Now, overall, the tornado threat tomorrow, it probably will not be long-tracked or strong like what we saw last week. But you still want to make sure that you have a tornado action plan in place, and also make sure that you have multiple ways to receive alerts. We also have a 2% tornado risk, which goes from Missouri back into parts of southern Texas and as well as into Georgia. And let's go ahead and go into the timing. So again, this should be a relatively quick forecast, and then we'll go into the studio here in a minute. So this is what we're looking at in terms of timing for tomorrow. Let me pull up the risk outline for tomorrow, not today. So today's risk, by the way, is kind of going down, by the way. We have actually 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, and I believe all of which are in Canada. So just for the record, there are warnings in Canada, but not in the United States. This is what we're looking at, though, for tomorrow in terms of severe weather. Let's go and hop to the 18Z model run. There's a couple of different scenarios that could evolve tomorrow, one of which would be 2 lines of storms closer to the Gulf Coast, and then the other which would be a couple lines of storms but a bit further up to the north in possibly that marginal threat. So let's kind of break that down. Here's what it looks like overnight tonight. We'll have clusters of storms going through areas like Louisiana, Mississippi, and as well as back into East Texas, where there will be a damaging wind threat as these storms continue to move to the east. Once we get closer to 6 a.m. tomorrow, so when you're waking up perhaps for work or whatever it might be, that cluster or line of storms will be moving through southern Alabama and southern Mississippi, and eventually by the time we get closer to 8 to 9 o'clock, that continues to push right along the Gulf Coast. I do think the majority of these storms will primarily be wind and hail producers. There could be a couple of embedded tornadoes in that cluster, but I do think the risk overall for tomorrow is going to be on the lower side of things. And then once we get closer to lunchtime and into the afternoon, that first line of storms pushes into the Gulf of Mexico. So if you know any fish there in the northern Gulf of Mexico, make sure to give them a call or text and make sure they're doing all right. And then if we go back further to the west, I usually don't laugh when I say that. If we go back further to the west around lunchtime, that's when that second cluster of storms will develop back over in central Texas, and as well as back near Houston and San Antonio, where there will be some damaging winds and hail. And out of these initial discrete cells, that is where the most elevated hail risk is going to be. So make sure if you're in these areas that you're protecting your vehicle, and make sure that you are also protecting any trampolines or any sorts of loose line items. Even though the damaging wind threat will be much higher the further east you go, when it comes to at least, significant damaging winds upwards of like 80 or 90 miles per hour, that's where we're going to be looking for a more significant wind threat. But even then, some of these storms could produce damaging winds between 60 to 70 miles per hour. The good news is that this risk should stay on the lower side of things. It should be more widely scattered in nature. And then once we get closer to 2 to 3 o'clock, we'll continue to watch some storms right along the Gulf Coast near Mississippi and Louisiana. Anything that's discrete could produce a slightly more elevated tornado risk. And then as we get closer to 4, 5, 6 o'clock, these storms continue to stay clustered and move eastbound. Anything in here will be primarily damaging winds, some large hail still remaining, but it should be a lower risk by the time it gets into Louisiana and as well as Mississippi. And then a low but not zero tornado risk as these storms continue to push eastbound. And eventually, as we get closer to 7, 8, 9 o'clock, those storms eventually move into the same area in the northern Gulf of Mexico. So if you know any fish there, make sure that they're doing okay, make sure they're ready for those storms. And then once we go into the overnight hours into Tuesday morning, this storm activity will push into Florida, parts of South Carolina, where another low-end risk for severe weather will exist. We are also going to be watching a couple of areas during the mid to late afternoon hours, one of which will be back over North Texas and as well as western Arkansas, and back into southern Texas, where we could get some semi-discrete or even discrete supercells, and anything like that that develops will produce an isolated wind and hail threat. It will probably not be significant, and we may get an isolated tornado or two in those areas like Arkansas and maybe even to southern Missouri, but I think really the risk overall is going to be low. I'm not expecting anything crazy. We also could get some huge hail out of any storms that develop near Victoria or Corpus Christi as we go into the mid to late afternoon hours tomorrow. So make sure again that you're protecting your vehicle, and also make sure that you have multiple ways to receive alerts. We will probably be live for this tomorrow, so again, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. All right, that's pretty much the forecast for tomorrow. So I want to kind of take you in now to the studio. And I'll answer questions, by the way, in just a minute on everything, including the studio and as well as the severe weather for the next several days. And I'll talk a bit more about the long-term severe weather threat here in just a few minutes. But let's go ahead and do the studio tour, because this is kind of crazy. A lot of you guys have not seen this yet, and I don't think many of you have even seen it in this sort of spectrum. We've posted photos to Twitter, but they don't really give you a good idea of what we have. So let me do a quick little studio tour here. First thing I want to show you is Radar Omega. You might notice this, you might not. I'm not sure if you pay attention a lot to how we move around. This is way faster. You can see how smooth it is moving around. That is our RTX 4070 GeForce card. That's the graphics card that is able to do this. We are in, like, extreme smooth motion, like on everything. It's smooth zooming in, it's smooth zooming out. It looks way better than before, so I just want to throw that out there. That's one of the big upgrades that we have here. Another big upgrade, well, not really. For some of you, this is an upgrade. There is no bed. There's no bed right now behind me, so that's gone at least temporarily. And then also, let's go ahead and we can turn on the camera behind me. Let's go ahead and do that. So this right here is what everything looks like. All right, so if you're a members only, if you're a member of the channel, you might have already seen this because we just did a members only stream like an hour ago on this. But this is what the setup looks like. All right, so this is what everything looks like. We got our two big lights. They are very blinding, but they're there. We have our laptop right here on the right side. This controls Storm Meteor or any storm chaser that we have, which they are not currently live with us, but I had them pulled up earlier. Also on the right side, if there's no Storm Chaser there, we have any sort of merch or donations or anything like that. That alert tab right there will be there on the right. So if we ever get anything like that, that's there. Also, we got our 4 monitors now. Let me try to back up a little bit here. So we got our top monitor up here. This will probably be mostly Twitter stuff and whatnot, but let me see if I can find something better to put it on so you guys can actually see it. We'll just put it on Discord, I guess. That's what we're looking at here. So that's our top monitor. This is going to be OBS for the most part. So there's your OBS right here on the top left. That's our recording software. Also the chat feed and everything like that, that's over here on this monitor. Obviously we got our face cam, which is this stand right here, and then we got our microphone, which is the Shure MV7. And so also this is our main monitor. So this is the one that stands out from the other ones because it's bigger. That is going to be our main monitor. Here's our Stream Deck down here, my old mouse, my old keyboard, which you can't see, but that's essentially what we got here in the new studio. Some things that are still coming though, we are going to have some RGB lighting, which is going to be able to flash when we have tornado warnings or something like that. It'll flash behind me. That is something that we'll have here pretty soon. I don't know when, but we'll have it at some point, probably in like the next week or two. We are going to be adding also, let me go back to here. We are going to be adding on the right side here another monitor stand. This monitor here will be propped up along with one of these monitors as well. I'm probably going to get another one of these LG monitors, which are the 144 hertz ones that we have. This one's 120 hertz. This one's 144 hertz. We have 3 of the same ones here. So all these monitors here are all the same. So we'll have 3 of those, and then I'm probably going to add a 4th one. So again, we're just doing nonstop upgrades here. So we should have a setup of 6 monitors here, and then our laptop will handle the right 2 monitors for at least now, and then we'll have a 7th monitor here for the laptop, which is right now pulled up on just radar Omega warnings, which again, that can change at any time. So yeah, there's a lot of upgrades once again, and I can't thank all of our members enough. Again, this would have not been possible without all of our members, and also our fantastic sponsorship with Radar Omega. So I really do appreciate all of their support, and also to anybody that just watches these streams. I really do appreciate it. With all that said, it's a pretty massive upgrade, so I'm really excited here about the future. By the way, thank you, Misty Woods, for the $20 super chat. I do appreciate your generosity. You think I need a bigger desk? I just got this desk. This is a new desk, just for the record. This entire desk, it is an L shape, and we literally just set this up last week. We actually had a desk like over here on the very far left last week when we were doing severe weather coverage. Well, that's only had 3 monitors, so this is again a big upgrade, and again, I'm really excited about the future with this upgrade. It's pretty substantial. So yeah, it is really cool stuff. Now with all that said, I also want to point out we have this now. Probably the stupidest thing I've ever added. But yeah, we have that now too. All right. What's the Railfan thing about? We have a deal with Virtual Railfan where we can use their cameras. So, we use their cameras and stuff. Yes, we have max hydration. Godforsaken water ball has to be the next tagline on that. By the way, for those that are watching, is there any lag or anything? I keep getting encoding overload. I'm just curious if there's any lag, or if that's just something I should not be concerned about. I don't know if there's anything lagging. Just out of curiosity, let me know. Idea of mini fridge. It might be in consideration in the future. Maybe. We'll see. No lag? Okay. Just making sure there's no skipping frames or anything, because it keeps saying encoding overload. Sometimes it's just a glitch, but we'll figure that out if it isn't. Okay. By the way, we don't have a computer sponsor or anything like that, or a monitor sponsor, just for the record. So anything that you see here is all bought with our own funds. That was all through essentially all of our members and stuff like that. So again, if you're a member of the channel, I really do appreciate it. Again, any membership funds for the most part are just going towards upgrades. So again, we'll have another monitor stand and another monitor coming in here pretty soon. You should hire me as a personal chef. I kind of need one. I really am getting sick of doing DoorDash and stuff on these live streams. That's why I stopped doing it at the end of the coverage that we had last week. No, Canada's a very weird place. Their severe thunderstorm warnings last 3 hours. I mean, these are the warnings right now in Canada. They're going for 3 hours. That's that's something. 3 hours long. Those are the only warnings, by the way, that we have. So we don't have actually any warnings right now in the United States. Stream is lagging quite a bit, according to one person. According to Evan. I'll have to look into it after the stream. The encoding overload usually just means there's something wrong with the processor or something, so I can look into it after this. It's definitely not. Like, by lag, it's usually just skipping frames and stuff. So, who knows? We'll figure it out. I mean, again, I'm doing this live stream so that, you know, we can fix these issues if they do end up coming up. Stutters here and there, especially on the camera. So there you go. Apparently, there are stutters on the camera. Evan's bugging. I think Evan's probably on computer, which would show it better. So I'm pretty sure that he's not bugging. I think he's being legit here. I'll have to look back after the stream, though. I mean, again, it says encoding overload right now. So I don't know. Let me see. I might just have to change my encoder, because that's the one thing. The encoder right now is in NVIDIA, but I could probably change it to the X264, or whatever they call it. Evan said his internet is 2 gigabytes. Thank you to thank you Clout for the $4.99. What do you expect the next big outbreak? Yeah, so I think the next big severe weather event is probably going to be next week, not this week, but next week. Maybe on Friday, but that I don't think will be big. I think our best chance would be probably the following week. So more than likely the last week of May is when I'm thinking our bigger outbreak is. I prioritize GPU to apps. I do not know. I'll have to do it after the stream. Again, I've literally been setting up this studio for the last 3 days now. So, yeah, it's taken a lot of time, and we still don't have everything done. So, good times. Thank you, Alicia, for the $20 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you also to Terry for becoming a minimum velocity member. Thank you, Gwyn, I think, or Gun, for becoming a maximum velocity member. And also thank you, Radar Wiley for becoming a VIP velocity member. Put some hearts in the chat for Radar. That is our top membership tier on the channel. I do appreciate you becoming a VIP velocity member. Camera upgrade incoming. We do have a new. This is literally the new camera. Is it this one right here? That's our new camera. I just haven't set it up for the actual computer yet. So that's actually our new computer, or that's our new camera. So yeah, check Wisconsin storms. Sure, let's go ahead and check. I don't think there's much happening up here. The risk for severe weather up here was supposed to be pretty low. I think we only got like 2 or 3 warnings here today. I haven't really been looking recently. Yeah, looks like most of the storms are done. We only got a few showers, maybe some gusty winds going towards the Kenosha area. So that'd be about it. 1080p, it's still 1080p. I don't really need anything higher than that because the face cam is really just a small camera. It's not supposed to be big. I just boosted your Discord to level 3. I really don't know what that does, but I do appreciate it. I don't really know what that stuff does on Discord, so I do appreciate it. Yeah, this is the risk for severe weather today. I don't know if they've updated this. I don't think they have. But this is the risk for severe weather today. So again, pretty low risk overall. The risk back up in the Midwest is kind of done. And then the risk even down here in Texas has been pretty minimal. I've been watching the storms back over in Central Texas and that small slight risk. And these have been predominantly outflow driven. And they've really not done much other than just some hail and wind. I don't think anything here went severe. I could be wrong. But the one storm near San Angelo, I know that Storm Runner Media was running through a storm earlier, and there was some pretty big hail in that storm. So, you know, aside from that, we really have not had much. Now it's lagging? Okay, yeah, I'll fix it after the stream. It might be lagging a bit. I'll fix the stuff after. I can't do it on the stream, but I can fix it after. What will Thursday look like? I don't know if we're really going to see much on Thursday. Let me pull up. I don't know if I have a command for this. Let me go to this. All right, we'll go there, and then we'll go to Pivotal Weather, and we're also going to go to or really go throughout the week. So a couple things I'll be watching for this week, really a few. There's several things I'll be watching for this week, but most stuff should be minimal. So tomorrow we'll have some showers and storms in the southern plains and the southeast. Again, the majority of these storms will be mostly wind and hail producers, with a few tornadoes being possible. Once we go into Tuesday, that threat will continue to move to the east into like areas like Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. I do think overall the risk for severe weather is going to be much lower on Tuesday comparatively to Monday, even though that low pressure system will kind of still maintain its intensity. Showers will continue across the Ohio Valley and the lower Midwest as well as we go throughout the day Tuesday. By the time we go into Wednesday, that moves off to the east. By Thursday, or by Wednesday night, we'll have an isolated risk for severe weather in Kansas and Oklahoma. Only hail and wind is really all I expect, maybe a low tornado risk. And by the time we go into Thursday, that storm activity shifts to the east. We could get some showers and storms from the southern plains back into the Midwest, but once again, I'm not expecting anything too significant. The trough up here is the one to watch for, because this will be a negatively tilted trough, which any of these sorts of troughs are usually the ones that produce the more significant threats for severe weather. But with how far north this is and also how slow it's going to be moving, I don't know if we're going to see anything super significant on Thursday. By Friday, there might be a little bit more there, but overall, even if we do see severe weather on Friday, it's too early to tell whether this will be an outbreak or not. So we'll be watching Friday closely, and then by the time we go into Saturday, that continues to move east, and then again, that large low pressure system will sit basically over the Ohio Valley in the Midwest, where once again, there will be at least some showers and storms and maybe some isolated severe weather on the East Coast on Saturday. But again, I don't see anything super substantial here. Maybe Friday. It's just, I think there's a lot of uncertainty still with what that could actually end up doing. And so there's, again, just a lot of model variation. So we'll see what kind of happens there. But I do think if we have any sort of significant severe weather event this week, it will probably be on Friday. There might be something again Thursday night. There might be something Saturday. And there's also going to be stuff obviously tomorrow, which is again more of an imminent threat for severe weather. But either way, I still think overall that severe weather threat does remain kind of on the lower side, at least as we go into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, until we have at least more certainty on what could actually happen, like the modes of severe weather and all that sort of stuff, which again just remains highly uncertain due to the variation in models right now in data. There should be a max hydration emote. We'll have one soon. I haven't gotten to that, but yeah, there will be one at some point here soon. Thank you, Moving Mark. Appreciate it. Yes, the max hydration. That's just so fun. How's the warning count work? It's currently manual, but it will be automatic soon. We're going to have a new warning overlay thing that is going to be custom coded here pretty soon. So all that will be in place probably in a few weeks is my guess. Maybe sooner. We'll see. That's at least the plan. That could always change. How's Tulsa looking tonight? Looks fine to me. And the only thing that I'm looking at right now would be tomorrow, and as well as we go into really just tomorrow. I mean, maybe Tuesday morning, but really just tomorrow for the most part. Tonight, we're pretty much done. Tulsa, really, if you get anything tomorrow, it would be probably to your south and east. You probably won't see anything other than just maybe some passing showers. Again, this is the timing for tomorrow, so notice storms kind of in your area tomorrow morning, but mostly just gusty winds, and that'll be really about it. Maybe some lightning, and then some storms will try to initiate tomorrow afternoon across parts of Arkansas and southeast Oklahoma, but that should be a low risk. The majority of the severe weather action is going to be down near the Gulf Coast, so that's really about it when it comes to the severe weather threat. If we do go live tomorrow, it would probably be sometime in the afternoon. I mean, I don't know if we'll really go live for this. I don't know. We'll see. If the tornado risk looks a little bit more concerning, we might go live. It's just kind of one of those days where it's kind of 50-50, and we've already been live a ton recently, so I'm not sure if there's going to be enough there for us to actually go live, other than more of just the damaging wind and maybe a low tornado risk. So that would be what we're looking at least for next week. Or sorry, not next week, tomorrow. Yes, next week. Let me pull up Task Manager real quick. Let's see. Try to prioritize this. Try to see if that fixes it. Try to do it on the stream. Otherwise, it's just going to be something to do with my encoder. Still having some lagging issues. I don't even know where you fix this. Figure it out at some point. How's it going, Shelly? Welcome back. Any reports for Honolulu? We really don't cover Hawaii. I'm just gonna be honest with you. We really do not cover Hawaii at all. Thank you, Justin, for the $9.99. I appreciate that. Thank you. Glad I can help. Where in the world is OBS? Set priority. Okay. Maybe that does something. We'll find out. Happy Mother's Day, by the way, to all the mothers out there. I didn't mention that in today's forecast. I did it at the beginning of the stream, but happy Mother's Day. Platters at max capacity. Oh man, the maxing is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be literally crazy. Somebody literally made a video on Twitter. I show this to our members. We did a couple of members only streams. We did a 4.5 hour one for the computer building and monitor setup stream, and we also did one for we also did a members only stream literally like an hour ago just to kind of show the studio, which I just did in this live stream. But somebody sent me something that just like was like literally every time I sipped out of my water bottle, it made this obnoxious noise. It was like an appreciation post for hydration. I don't know where it went, but it was really funny. Live on Galveston Island, anything heading your way? I think the main concern will be probably tomorrow right around lunchtime or so. So this is what we're looking at today. This is tomorrow morning, so probably a little after lunchtime, some showers and thunderstorms coming your direction, and this will all be pretty much clustered together. Main concern with this will be hail and wind, maybe an isolated tornado risk, but it should be mostly wind. I think everything tomorrow is mostly just gonna be a wind threat. We could end up seeing an enhanced risk for damaging winds and or hail. I don't think we're gonna see a strong tornado risk, honestly. Just the wind shear overall does not look impressive tomorrow to me. And if you look at the upper level dynamics, even with the upper level, or the I should just call it the jet stream, but the upper level winds, the jet stream just did not look very impressive. Let me show you that real quick, which the jet stream doesn't always tell you everything, but overall this trough just does not look impressive. This is what it looks like on the on the jet stream here. This is what we're looking at for tomorrow afternoon and evening. So again, we got our low pressure system here, got our southwesterly flow in the upper levels. There's something there, it's just not overly strong. If we go to the 700 millibar chart, which is going to show us our low level jet, this is what we're looking at for tomorrow. So we could get some sort of localized elevated tornado risk, maybe somewhere there right along the Gulf Coast, but again, just does not look super impressive to me. If we go to the HRRR model on like the tornado parameter values, for example, or hotographs, or whatever you want to look at, we'll just go to tornado parameter values here. We'll go ahead and do it right in the southeast. Shows pretty high values today, but tomorrow, again, just a very low threat overall. When you see those gray colors popping up for tomorrow, and maybe blue colors like cyan, I mean, there's just not much there when it comes to the tornado risk, in my opinion. We could get something like locally or like higher, maybe near New Orleans, but even then, it's just a small little axis there that we'd be looking at. It's a very, very local area that might have a slightly more elevated tornado risk. Now, obviously, you might not see any colors between here and here, but there is still at least a low tornado risk in between those two areas with that cluster of storms. So, yeah, I mean, again, I just don't see anything that significant, so we'll see. Might even do a storm chasing stream on Tuesday. We'll see if there's anything out there. Because actually, for those that are wondering, I'm going to be traveling to South Carolina on Tuesday. So I was originally going to do that yesterday, but weather did not look very good doing that. So we've delayed that to Tuesday now. So if we go live, we'll be able to from the studio tomorrow instead of remote, if you will. Did I see the Pittsburgh's tornado? I did. I saw a photo on Twitter of that. Yeah, I saw a few photos and videos of that on Twitter. It's definitely interesting. I think Birmingham will be mostly just a wind and isolated hail threat. Ever since I put high priority on OBS, I don't think I've noticed any lagging. Anybody else, if you've seen any lagging, let me know. If you haven't seen lagging, don't say anything, because I don't need the chat to be spammed. But if you've seen anything in the last like 4 or 5 minutes, just let me know. I have not seen my OBS overload in the last few minutes. Again, this stream obviously is an update weather stream and a studio tour. Nope, there, never mind, just one. All right, so we still have issues, but yeah, this is more of a testing stream, especially since we'll be live tomorrow. Or we might be live tomorrow, not a guarantee. Has he mentioned severe weather in North Texas? Yeah, I briefly mentioned it. Any severe weather that develops will be right around probably 2 to 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon with just isolated hail and wind. It's a very low risk overall tomorrow in North Texas. Really, the greatest concern is going to be out of these two MCS complexes that we're going to have. First one is tomorrow morning across Mississippi and Alabama with mainly damaging winds and maybe a couple of tornadoes, and then a bit more of an elevated risk with the secondary area of storms as we go into the afternoon and eventually into the evening across Louisiana, Mississippi, and East Texas. It's really where the main threat for severe weather will be. The 12Z, I think, showed something different on the HRRR. Let me just double check that, because there is definitely a couple of different scenarios that could develop tomorrow. This is the second scenario. So the HRRR, earlier today, this was 6 a.m. this morning or so, it shows a completely different situation where we have a line of storms that stretches from Arkansas back into Texas. And if this happens, we'd have a bit more of a significant wind threat further north and even further to the east. Because the most recent HRRR model run showed the highest wind speeds really the highest threat of severe weather right along the Gulf Coast. So if this happens, it'll be a bit more numerous across many states. But if it's more closer to the Gulf Coast, I don't think there'll be a need to go live tomorrow unless something really significant happens. Now, if this scenario also happened, we might get a few more, these rogue supercells back over in Arkansas that produce maybe slightly more significant hail and wind. But aside from that, again, I just don't see anything major tomorrow other than wind and hail, and those again will be primarily out of those initial supercells with very large hail, and then down the road as this MCS organizes, we could get a higher damaging wind risk localized across eastern Louisiana and back into southern Alabama. So I'll give it about a 60 or 70% chance we'll be live tomorrow. I think a lot of it again just has to do more with the fact of this tornado risk. It could be again more localized and very low, or it could be a bit more across this entire MCS. That'll stretch anywhere from Mississippi back into Texas, or again, the MCS could be down here to the south and really just in one general area for most of the time. And further south it is, the better it is for us, because if it's mostly offshore, we won't have to really worry too much about the damaging wind threat, at least across most of the Dixie Alley. So a couple different scenarios that could end up evolving tomorrow. Let me go back to the 18Z model run, though. We do have the latest HRRR model run coming out right now. Let me check if that's updated. We do have another model run coming out from the HRRR, which we'll see. No, it's only 6 hours in, so it's not really fully done yet, but that would be the next update, would be the 00Z model run, which is just coming in now. I don't think this goes far out enough. Let me check. Yeah, this doesn't go out far enough. So we don't really have a model run yet for the evening hours, but we'll probably have that here soon. At least the most recent model run. But the HRRR at the 23Z run, again, just kind of shows those initial supercell developments. That's about it. And also the complex that'll be ongoing back over near Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi. All right, and let's just go back to here for now. I might be live all the way through. If that 00Z model run comes in pretty quickly, we'll be live through that. So it's right now at the hour. It's at hour 7 right now, so that should be coming through here soon. It's 8 p.m. Oh god. By the way, thank you for 230,000 subscribers. We just hit that apparently, so I do appreciate everybody subscribing to the channel. Missouri, I think Missouri will be a pretty low risk. It's primarily, again, going to be during the afternoon with any sort of, cells that develop. You'll kind of see that here right about 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. A couple of different areas, again, one of which being west of Arkansas, or west of Little Rock, and then another one perhaps back over in southern Missouri. It is a very low risk, and if you get anything, it would be mostly a damaging wind and also a hail threat, but that'd be really about it for out of those storms. Also, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm just going to pop into this real quick. Very minimal severe threat here, but just west of Goodwell in Oklahoma. It's a damaging wind and hail threat. Very minimal, so not too bad. Not too shabby. We were at 200,000 a few days ago. We were at 200,000, I think, exactly a week ago from today. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of crazy. The growth has been crazy on this channel. I do appreciate everybody subscribing. I mean, again, we've been growing like crazy recently. Granted, there's been a lot of weather, and we've also been live a ton. I mean, we've been live an insane amount, so. Rightfully so, it is going up. Thank you, Denise. I need a setup like that. This setup is crazy. I mean, I've showed it a few times. This is, again, what it looks like. Again, pretty fancy. It's definitely a, you know, work in progress still, but it's coming along. It's not looking too shabby. Sorry, I am a Tom Brady fan. We got a Tom Brady poster on the right, and we also still have some cables and cords and stuff that are right there. But yeah, still a work in progress, but it is definitely coming along pretty quickly. Or I wouldn't say really quickly. I mean, I've been working on this literally for nonstop the last 3 days. We had that members only stream back on Friday, which was, again, 4.5 hours long. Took longer than expected to build the computer. Put in the GPU yesterday because we didn't have the graphics card coming until yesterday. We still have some RGB lights that are coming in, so there's just a lot of stuff that we still don't have, but you know, it's all kind of coming along slowly but surely. Thank you. Yes, the setup again is still a work in progress, but doesn't look too shabby, and still a lot of things that we're working on. RGB equals FPS, 100%, definitely. But yeah, I do want to get this encoding thing fixed. I don't know. I really do not understand how we have encoding issues. Like, even when I set priorities high and stuff, it makes no sense to me. We never had issues until we had to update to a new OBS. And ever since then, it always gives me these random issues. It's really annoying. What's the timing for Mobile, Alabama? You're gonna have 2 different rounds of storms. The first of which will be, let me go back to 18Z again. The first of which will be really tomorrow morning around lunchtime, maybe. So this is what we're looking at. So around 6 or 7 o'clock, storms are kind of flirting off to your north. If this area of storms trains west to east, which is probably going to happen, we could get a flooding threat right in that area across Mississippi, Alabama, and even back into parts of maybe even western Florida. So notice that area of storms will kind of on go during the morning hours, around lunchtime perhaps, and then that second round of storms would be closer to about the mid to late evening, so around 8 to 12 o'clock or so. So again, that's really your main concern. It's gonna be 2 rounds of storms though. Definitely a flash flooding threat will exist. Let me go to the excessive rainfall outlook for tomorrow, and let's take off the severe weather overlay. Notice, actually, they do have a moderate risk for that flash flooding threat. So flash flooding currently is going to be a concern here across parts of southern Alabama, southern Mississippi, Louisiana, and western Florida. And then we also have a slight risk outside of that. But since that area of storms will train during the morning hours, and then eventually as we go into the late afternoon, more storms are coming, we'll probably have 2 different rounds of, again, storms there. It's my internet speed. Let me check. I don't think it has anything to do with my internet speed. I think it just, yeah, I mean, my internet speed's like 300 megabits per second. It's even higher than that. I mean, it's very high. Now, the upload speed's only 40 apparently, but still, should be plenty. I don't think it has anything to do with internet. I could be wrong, though. By the way, whenever I look up here, that's my top right monitor. Whenever I look over here, that's my top left monitor. Bottom left, bottom right, and then also far right. If you ever purchase merchandise or donate through the donation link down below, those notifications will be on the far right monitor. And then very far right monitor, which is our laptop, that is just simply going to be it's just going to be our, you know, watches and warnings sort of thing. So just a heads up there. Let me put on back the overlay here. It's relaxing that there's not 50 tornado warnings. I know. Yeah, I mean, it's been way too busy recently. I mean, it is the peak of severe weather season, but it will be nice to at least get a brief break. I think after tomorrow, things are relatively quiet again for a few days, at least a couple days, hopefully. That's the hope. If not, you know, we're gonna be live again a lot, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Thoughts on the warnings in Canada right now? Yeah, I don't know what's going on up here in Canada. I mean, these warnings last like 3 hours. Now they do often get canceled well before this, or they usually get canceled well before the expiration time. But yeah, these storms are just, I mean, this warning goes for 3 hours. Strong wind gusts and nickel to ping pong ball sized hail. Wow, that's a large range. Let's see what the back one is. Yeah, same thing. What about golfing? I will be going golfing starting probably Tuesday. Again, we delayed the trip. I was supposed to go on Saturday, and now it's gonna be Tuesday. Main reason why is because the studio took way longer than expected. So, yeah. The studio took literally all the way. I mean, I wasn't even done until today. We still had so many things to do. Evan, I don't think it has anything to do with upload speed. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I really think it's just the encoder, because... Let me look it up real quick. Let me check. Unless you're right. Maybe you are right. I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think the only thing that has anything to do with that would be the bitrate. And also, YouTube usually says something about buffering. So I think this just has to do with the encoder. And I don't know. I'll figure it out. I don't think it has anything to do with the internet, though. Because it happens on videos, too, just for the record. So I do think it has more to do with the encoder or the computer or something like that. And not the upload speed. OBS has a delay, too. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. I mean... Like, it keeps giving me encoding overload a few times here and there. Usually when I move it around and stuff. It's usually when I move around. Right now it's not doing it, but yeah, I don't know. Thank you, Philip, for becoming a 19-month moderate velocity member. We have the US Open here in Pinehurst, North Carolina next month. It will be crazy. I didn't even know that. That's pretty crazy. What is the error? It just says encoding overload. How do we get the March? March is shopmaxvelocity.net. I'll put the link in the chat. Our Drunk NATO t-shirt, mug, and all that are out right now. Let me pull it up here. The link is in the chat, though. I do appreciate everybody picking them up. I mean, again, we've had a lot of them. I mean, it's literally our most popular release we've ever had. This sort of looks like on the front side of things. There's your Drunk NATO t-shirt. We also have a mug. We also have a sticker. All those are in the shopmaxvelocity.net website, so you can check it out there. Yeah, a lot of people, I think most people should be getting them pretty soon, by the way. For those that have ordered them, a lot of you guys have. They should be coming in probably within the next few days. But definitely check your email. That'll have more accurate delivery time on there. Yeah, Evan, I don't know. I'll look into it after. Because I have no issues with Task Manager either, so I don't know. My Task Manager right now is seemingly fine. We're using, like, this is kind of crazy. You know, on our laptop, we were using approximately, like, 8% CPU. On our laptop, we're using, like, 60% CPU. We're currently using 8% CPU, so that's a massive upgrade. Our GPU right now is 42%, so we might just need to change the encoder to the X264, which I don't mind. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Just use more, it uses more CPU. But it should not be a big deal if I do that. Yeah, when I move around more on the GPU does seem to go up a little bit more. So I don't know. Something like that. I think the GPU is the reason. But we literally, for those that are wondering, again, I went through all the specs on our members only stream with the studio, but we do now have a GT or an RTX GeForce 4070. So it is a big upgrade from our previous graphics card, which the previous one was a 2070, I think, or 2060. So big upgrade there. Now, obviously, this is a computer and not a laptop. And we, again, custom built everything. So pretty cool stuff. Moving around on Radar Mega definitely kicks up the GPU. It doesn't for me. My fans are super quiet, by the way. Like, this computer is extremely quiet. Like, it makes like no noise. So once again, I don't really know. I don't think I can max my I'm not sure if I can max my FPS on here or anything like that, but we'll see. I mean, if I change my encoder to the X264, it should just be GPU based and not CPU based, or sorry, CPU based and not GPU based, vice versa. So that's the current plan. Do I have any Tornado hoodies? I do not have a hoodie for the Drunkenado yet, but we will consider it. The hoodies are really the most expensive thing on the store. Which I think the hoodies, if we make one for it, I think it's like almost $50. So I'm not sure. We might add that though. The graphics are definitely better. I know. You literally can see it. I mean, if we just go around, I mean, it's a major improvement over before. I mean, I was not expecting this much of an improvement. But like everything is just so much smoother. It's amazing. Like everything. And also, by the way, our Storm Chaser feed, which I don't have Storm Intermediate, so let me take this off real quick. Where is it? It's right here. So another big upgrade, or not really big upgrade, but another update that we're doing is on our Storm Chasers stuff. This will be more of an upgrade later on because I have not gone to all the graphics yet, but when we have a Storm Chaser on the screen in the middle, that would be that black area there, we will end up having that radar a bit more enlarged at the bottom right. So if there's like a, you know, a tornado warning or something, it should be easier to see town names and stuff. So just a little bit larger instead of that small little square that we had before. We might also expand it a little bit more out to the left, but I'm not sure yet. So that is kind of in beta right now, but we're working on that right now. So yeah. IT professionals assemble. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it took, again, we had to download a ton of drivers too. There's a lot of stuff that goes into building computers. And also, getting all the documents from my laptop to this computer was a pain too. It took a while. Have you seen Hall's setup? He has like 20 monitors. Yeah, he has a ton. I mean, I'm pretty sure I think he got sponsored for all that stuff. So I don't think he actually... I could be wrong. Somebody mentioned it the other day that a computer company sponsors him, so I think he got a lot of that from that, but I, again, could be wrong on that. But either way, I mean, I've seen at least a photo of it. It's a crazy setup. Now, granted, my space is very small, so I can't really do a whole lot more upgrades than this. The only other upgrade I was planning on doing, which, once again, this is what our... Oh, wrong thing. This is what our studio looks like. I'm planning on putting a monitor stand here. So for this laptop here, that will connect to 2 different monitors. So that would be the plan. Which again, we're still probably at least a week or 2 out from that. Maybe a little bit longer. Evan just said, need to start selling honey and call it max viscosity. I'm surprised you got done so quick. We got everything shipped in really last week, and you know, my friend helped out building the computer. He was the one that did everything. So shout out to John. I don't know if he's watching, but he did literally everything. Do your eyes hurt after a while? You'd be surprised. They actually don't. I sometimes get a headache from these. They are bright. They do look as bright as they are, by the way. Maybe a slightly exaggerated, but I mean, most of the time I'm looking at my monitor, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah. By the way, we do have another severe thunderstorm warning here in Texas now, near Stratford. That is going to be a threat for $half size hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. So there you go. John's the real MVP. Yes. You'd buy it? I'll probably make... I don't know. We'll see. I don't want too many SKUs on that, but we might do a hoodie for the Drunknado merch. I mean, the Drunknado merch, again, has been literally... like, it's crazy how many of those shirts that we sold. So... and also mugs. So again, we might do that. We'll see. Any severe weather for Tyler, Texas? I don't know if we'll see much there. More than anything, it'll probably just be wind and hail. So this is the wind threat for today, not tomorrow. Oops. This for tomorrow, and relatively low to medium threat. So some widely scattered damaging winds would be the main concern. And then also the hail threat is really the main concern, where we could see a couple of storms with some more significant hail. But I think that'll be mostly in this area here for that significant hail threat. Relatively speaking, any sort of cells that are discrete tomorrow or even semi-discrete will have an elevated chance for significant hail. So anything from, like, 1 inches in diameter all the way up to perhaps baseball sized hail, like that is all in play tomorrow. I don't think we'll see any hailstones larger than that. Maybe down here near Victoria with some of that afternoon convection, but even some of the initial convection right around lunchtime near Waco could do the same thing. So a couple of different areas I'd watch for a more elevated big hail threat, but otherwise it should be, again, a relatively low threat. The tornado risk once again for tomorrow is again more elevated across East Texas back through Southwest Georgia. I do think in southern Louisiana though, or Southeast Louisiana, we could see something a bit more elevated than this area even. So yeah, that area in particular might be a bit more elevated, but it does really depend on the progression of the MCS tomorrow, a little after lunchtime. So thank you, Pop, for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it. By the way, if I'm not talking about your state, you're probably fine. So that includes Delaware. I don't think there's gonna be anything there here soon. Is the thumbnail updated, by the way? I don't know if I had it. It was all right. It is updated. All right. Before it was not correct, so it is now correct. Max and Brady are the GOAT, so it makes sense he's a fan. Could you see the solar flares last night? I could not. And I really didn't look, and it wasn't last night, it was the day before, it was Friday night. I didn't even look, to be honest. So yeah, I should have. Even if I looked though, I don't think I would have been able to see it, but it seemed like a lot of you guys saw it. So if you saw it, it's pretty cool. It's a 1 in 100 year sort of event. Apparently the last time we saw something like that was 2003, so it's been about 21 years. But with that said, it usually only happens like once every 100 years or so, so it's not very frequent. Who is John? It's the person that helped out with our computer setup on Friday. If you're at that members only stream, that's who he was. Which that members only stream is still public, and it will be public for all members, at least for the rest of this month, and then it'll be moderate velocity members only, and after that, starting in June, probably. I giggle when you sip from your water bottle now. I didn't do this, by the way. I mean, again, it was just from an angry Facebook comment. That's where this came from. If you saw the Twitter post, you would know. This was just completely... This is just a Facebook comment, guys. I mean, if you want to read it, that's where this came from. Yeah, I would have never done this otherwise. I mean, that godforsaken water ball that you used, that was the funniest line on that entire thing. Oh, man. We were talking about it on the members only stream too. B, I can't tell whatever that photo is. I don't know if you're still here, but that looks something. It looks like a shelf cloud, presumably. It's kind of over the houses, but it looks more like a shelf cloud. That Facebook comment was pretty funny. Oh man, it's just so dumb. I'm telling you guys, this would have never happened if it wasn't for that. This is the latest SPC outlook for tonight, by the way. Again, we got a slight risk still across the Gulf Coast. They have removed the 5% hatch, or not 5% hatch, but 5% tornado risk. It is now 2%. Most of the storms down there were elevated today, so nothing really happened with those. And then wind and hail, the other threat. Also back up in Wisconsin and Michigan, the slight was removed. So that's all done. And then tomorrow, nothing's changed. Obviously, probably nothing will change until 2 a.m. tonight. Not sure what's going on here, to be honest with you, but if we zoom in a little bit here, we got a rapid change in the risk outline. Look at this thing. I mean, we got to really zoom into this. We got I don't know who's in that little 2%, or if that's just the number that got cut off somewhere, but we got a little 2% or something like that right there in Southwest Alabama. So maybe they know something. I'm pretty sure that's just a glitch. They don't have a 2% label anywhere else, so I'm guessing that was just a bug. I've never seen that before. So yeah, that's interesting. I'd buy a max hydration bottle. Might have to do it. I don't know if we have that ability. Let me check real quick. I don't know if we can do that. If we can do water bottles, we're definitely doing that. At least through the provider that I have. If not, we might just have to open up a Shopify at some point. Max hydration stickers. I'll probably do that. Yeah, that max hydration thing will at least be a sticker, maybe a hat, maybe something else. I don't know. We'll see. Trying to find and see. Let me see if there's water bottles on here. Record yourself slurping really loud and make it your new member sound effect. That sounds fantastic. It's turned into a meme. God-forsaken water bottle. Be funny. I can do a mug, I know that. Let me see if we can do water bottles. I don't see water bottles, at least through my supplier, but we could always do a drop or something somewhere else. Just a mug right now. We'll at least do a mug. We'll at least do a sticker for the max hydration. We might do something beyond that. We'll see. Anything for Indiana soon? I think your next chance for anything significant will be like Friday or Saturday. That'd be about it. I don't see anything at least within the next 7 days on any other day. And even then, Friday, it could be significant. We'll see. Saturday just doesn't look that crazy to me, at least for now. I'd definitely buy a water bottle. I think a lot of people would. I'll have to look into it. Would you rather live through a tornado or a hurricane? That is a tough question. It depends on the strength of either or. Thank you, friends of Freedom, for the $5 super chat. There's supposed to be a lot of rain that might pose a danger for the rest of the week. Yeah, I mean, again, there's gonna be a big flooding threat, really today and tomorrow, which most of it's already happened today, but tomorrow, this is your flooding risk for tomorrow. Again, we got that moderate threat back over in southern Alabama, southern Mississippi, eastern Louisiana, and western Florida, where the more elevated threat there for flooding rains will be, and that's mostly because of one of two things. We'll have two different complexes of storms, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. They're going to push through that area, and also the initial round of storms in the morning is going to be training, which means that we are probably going to see rain dumped in the same area for a few hours in a row, which will lead to a more elevated flooding threat. And then going into Tuesday, that threat goes down. So tossing trampolines on Tacos Tuesday does not look nearly as concerning, at least for now. But Monday does look a little bit worse. And today was pretty bad. We had some flooded roads in Texas. Let me pull up a photo of that real quick. We had a couple of photos sent in of flooding rains there in Texas. This is one of them. This is from a road near Decatur, Texas. This was sent in by Taylor Scheck-Snyder, I think is how you're saying the name. That's, you know, this is like apparently 10-foot water on that road. That's what they told me. And then this is going right down into the ditch or into like a river or something like that. Or just going down a big waterfall, it looks like. So that's a road that's covered in, you know, significant rainfall. And yeah, so that was pretty crazy. This is from Terry McQueen as well on Twitter. So this is from another area. I think this was near Fort Hood, Texas. If I'm not wrong, near Killeen. So just significant water flooding everywhere. So yeah, that was a relatively significant event there. Got a whole waterfall. That's pretty much what it was. But yeah, Texas got some significant rain today, and the outlook, I think today, they may have updated this, but yeah, they saw some significant flooding up there. But granted, it is, you know, this stuff does happen. It does happen during this time of the year. Even in May. Crazy how fast you find everything. I have 4 monitors now, so it's much easier. I can look at multiple things. And again, this is what our studio looks like, just for reference. We got the Max Velocity channel now up here. We got our recording software up here, Stream, Radar Omega, merchandise purchase alerts and other donations and stuff, and then we'll have another monitor up here soon, so this will be a monitor stand, then other Radar Omega stuff there. So yeah, cool stuff. It is a lot of stuff, but it is cool stuff. And I just lost the stream tab. Oops. Pull that back up real quick. The one slightly annoying part about everything right now is that there are 4 monitors and the mouse goes up and down on every single one. So if I accidentally click on something incorrectly, I'm going to exit out of a tab, which is not helpful at all. So yeah, that's the one small downfall. Hey, Chris, for the $2 super chat. How do the storms look in Oklahoma? Tonight, it should be a pretty low risk. Again, just mostly a wind and lightning threat. This is what it looks like right now near New Cordell and Clinton. And nothing really that significant there. Otherwise, it's mostly, again, just going to be a gusty wind and, you know, maybe small hail threat. Nothing significant, though, here. Another downfall is the electric bill. Yeah, that's another downfall. We're going to have a very high electric bill from here on out because of all the stuff that we have. But, you know, it's all right. As long as we have, you know, a good amount of members, it'll kind of just pay for itself. Which, again, all the upgrades are basically just for membership funds. So I do appreciate all the members on our channel. Yes, let me real quickly get 7 different cameras that we can just put in this room that they look at different perspectives. Let's do that real quick. That'd be kind of crazy. You know, imagine if I just have, like, you know, 4 monitors here, and then just one of them is just playing like some random video game. That'd be ridiculous. It's possible though. I mean, and this sort of setup, you can really do anything. But once we get 6 monitors, it'll be way better. Or, well, we have 6, but when we get a 7th monitor, it'll also be better. Yeah, top-down view. High-speed, slow-motion cameras, 100%. Thank you, Mark, for the $1.99. Will your RGB lighting warning coordinate, or will your RGB lighting be warning coordinated? As I'm guessing what that meant to say. Yeah, that's the plan. Again, I'm not sure when that's all going to be hooked up, but we'll have RGB lighting here soon. The plan is that the lights that I'll have will basically flash on a tornado warning. They'll flash and they'll be red, and then probably pink for PDS, dark red for on the ground tornadoes, and then purple for tornado emergencies. If we can customize that to that, you know, proximity, then yes, those RGB lights that we'll have, they will do that sort of effect. That's the current plan. So again, that is something though that's probably still at least a week and a half to 2 weeks out, because those lights have not even been ordered yet. And knowing Amazon with the graphics card, it could be a week or 2 until I even have that. So who knows? Vitamin, that's the plan. Yeah, I mean, again, the plan is that the lights will be able to flash when we have warnings and stuff like that. Like tornado warnings. They probably won't flash on severe thunderstorm warnings or anything. I don't think we'll have lighting the entire time, but we'll at least have it for, you know, when there are warnings, they will flash behind me or something like that. So that's another upgrade. That's a last minute upgrade. We didn't make that upgrade initially, but we are going to have that upgrade here soon. So again, just a lot of upgrades in general coming over the next several days and weeks and months and probably years. Flashing lights, slurping sound effect. It's gonna be wild. I know, it's getting crazy. Did I upgrade my chair? This chair I've had for over a year. This is not an upgrade. With that said, this is a good chair. It's much more comfortable than most of the office chairs I've had. Thank you, Sid, for the $5 super chat. Amazon be like package shipped. It's in the package is in Brazil. I don't know where that graphics card even got shipped from, but it took forever to get out there. I need a green screen. That is the plan once I am probably at least done with college. That would be the plan. So. Northern Lights at Texas. I don't think we're going to see them again. Tonight, let me check the space weather website real quick. The K index is much lower than before. Ooh, it's going up a little bit. Here's the space weather website. So the other day, this is what we're looking at. K index is near 9 and higher than that, or I think the highest is 9, but it was basically right there peaking. And then over the last little bit here, it looks like it's actually going up again. So we could get some northern lights, at least in the northern plains. I don't know about the southern plains though, or even Florida. These things are so hard to forecast, so you might see something in here, but like, I mean, it's so hard to forecast solar weather. With that said, I don't think we're going to see a repeat of what we just had. So, if we do, that would be crazy, but I don't think we are going to have a repeat. Yeah, so that's basically it for today's live stream. Again, this live stream is only gonna be like an hour long, but I do appreciate everybody tuning in, and thank you for watching. Thank you also JDS for the 199. I think severe weather tonight's done. This is all for tomorrow, so tomorrow's threat is really what we're watching for. So Dr. Disrespect Weatherman cosplay with green screen, that would be crazy as well. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Again, we might be live tomorrow, we'll see. If not, you know, have a great Monday. We might go live, we'll see. If you're new to the channel, again, make sure to subscribe, like the stream if you enjoyed it. Thank you to anybody that super chatted or became a member today. And also, if you want to pick up a new Drunknado t-shirt, mug, or anything like that, you can go to shopmaxvelocity.net. The link to that will be in the chat, so feel free to pick one up. Very high quality merch. And then also, if you want to become a member of the channel, that link is also going to be in the description down below, or there's the join button. You can become a member for as little as $2.99 a month. It is a very cheap rate here on the channel. So if you want to support the page, that is the best way to do so. Other than that, hope that everybody has a great rest of your day or night, and we will see you guys all again either tomorrow in a video or tomorrow in a live stream. All right, we'll see you guys all again soon. Thanks for watching, and see you guys all again later.